Well, good evening. Good evening, Pork Chop. How are y'all doing? I think I got everything going here. Just last minute, I wasn't going to go live, but then I thought, well, I might as well. I just finished up doing a filing cabinet. Well, didn't actually finish. I finished putting it together. Anyway, hopefully I'm coming through. Let me check here on YouTube. We had a bit of a storm come in early this morning. I thought you might have changed your mind. No? Okay, so you can hear me. So I guess it is working. That's a good thing. Let's see. Ask Grandpa. Let's see. I'm hooked up in this. Had music playing earlier. I guess it's working. I can see me anyway. I guess I left the stereo on in there. We were waiting on that weather coming in tomorrow. Really, we had a pretty good line come through here. I don't know, around 5 o'clock this morning. One clap of thunder about knocked me out of bed, and then it moved on northeast. So I don't know. Forgot to light your candle. Yeah, I did. That smelled pretty good. Hang on, I'm going to light it because that smelled good last night, especially when I blew it out. I really don't remember what smell that one is. I had one that was campfire, something like that. But anyway, I didn't have much going on tonight as far as the live stream goes, and a topic. Yeah. Man, I sure wished I was there right now. I was looking at this screen or wallpaper, but it ain't. It may be snow covered right now. I don't know. That's the wallpaper that's up. Got a little river down there in the bottom. Could do some good fishing down there. Whereas I don't know. It's just the wallpaper that's on my windows. It changes it around. I don't know, every 48 hours, 24 hours. I don't know. Used to, you could click on it and it would tell you. Let's see if it's on this monitor. Learn about this picture. Open that up and get back over here. There we go. Oh, it's in Norway. Dallin Valley near Norway. I'm butchering that name. It's there. It's pretty though. I think nobody is here because we usually get a notification that you will be on in 30 minutes. Big no for me and Norway. Oh, never. Don't know nothing about Norway. Yeah. Uh, I I wasn't sure if I was going to go live or not, but I need to go live because Jason never did email me or nothing. And I know he posted the email in the chat last night, but I didn't write it down because I thought I can just go back and look at the replay here in a little bit and get the email address. Well, apparently the playback, the chat playback it doesn't work because I looked at for this live stream. I looked, and you got to do a little check mark on YouTube. So now I'm just going to have to wait until I sing to get his address. I don't think he's too worried about it at the moment. I think he said his mother's funeral was going to be Saturday. So anyway, I don't know. I know he told Ray to text me his phone number. I never heard from Ray, but I'll get his address sooner or later. The projector's his one way or the other. One way or the other. But yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to go live. And I may not stay long. Just kind of depends. I did get this in because my other review that I need to do, it's going to be a pretty big project. It's a 71-inch metal pantry cabinet thing, but I got this in. So, see. It's a lamp similar to the one I have over here, but I'm considering putting it on the shelf. You can't see, but the shelf to the left to kind of light it up a little better. But it may be lit up good enough. I don't know. It's supposed to be cordless. That came in day before yesterday. We'll see. I just don't want to start that big cabinet tonight. That's gonna take a little while. I did the filing cabinet earlier, but I've done enough of these filing cabinets now that I can do them pretty quick. And I don't know. I'll kind of find some music to put on it because at least on the YouTube version, I can't do it on the Amazon version, but the YouTube version, I'll put some background music because I had my music playing and I was planning on just like hyperlapsing through it. Nobody wants to sit there and watch you putting that together, piece by piece. That would be a long and boring video. Yes, that would start fresh in the day. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because that might take 2 or 3 hours. I don't know. And I might be up that late tonight, but I'd rather be uh, watching a movie or something and be comfortable. You know. Yeah, I've got. Oh, it's not on this computer. I keep forgetting. Yeah, that's the drawback. The mini PC does the audio better than my big PC, but the problem is all my files and everything are on the big PC, and I'd have to flip back and forth. And when I flip monitors, then I can't see if everything's still working, and it could turn it off. I don't think it would turn it off. I don't know, but anyway. I do have some. I remember I have a video, another series that I was going to get started on this channel, but I don't remember all the details of it. I get these ideas in my head, and then I make a folder. I made a folder. It says video ideas, and then inside that folder, I made other folders with what the ideas are. But that's all. I don't have any videos made, no notes, no nothing, because if I don't write it down, I forget. Because I'll think of something and I'll think, what, that would make a good video. But if I don't write it down, I forget. How long are your weekly tax info videos? Until March 6th? Actually, that one I can check. All I gotta do is log into YouTube. I think it was March 6th. Just real short videos. Manage videos. Oh, asking how long in minutes is each video. I'm starting at the top, which will be the end one, and it's March 6th. 418 and going backwards. 418, 340, 404, 346, 348, 337, 444, 339, and 442. So all of them are less than 5 minutes, which kind of bites because you have to have an 8-minute video to get the mid-roll ads. But at your attention span, yeah, they're short. And I know it would have probably been better if I had like some B-roll, some different pictures running through it, and probably me really talking. But to read that and to get every word correct without having to, because I'll screw it up. I can read it and I'll still screw it up. So I just figured for that kind of video, I just let the computer read it. Because I don't want to mess that up. Cause, anyway, I just didn't want to mess it up. I don't trust myself enough. Not most of my videos have never been like that, and probably, well, I'm not going to say won't be like that, because if I come up with something else like a big long tutorial on something, then I might try to put some B-roll, like pictures or whatever, but then have the computer reading it too. But I like the idea of having the document on there. So, because my reading comprehension is kind of low, and if I can hear it and read it at the same time, I do much better. Because if I just hear it, I might miss a word here and there. And if I read it, I can get about the fourth paragraph down and I'll forget what that first paragraph said, detail wise. I mean, I remember a little bit of it, but it's just easier to read it and hear it at the same time. My accountant sent me an attachment with the new 2025 tax rules. You can deduct interest from car loans now. President Trump's big, beautiful bill. I can email it to you if you want. And yeah, you can if you want, but I've already got that series done. So, but I mean, you've always been able to depreciate your car if there's a bunch of little ifs, if this and if that. Like if it's a new car, you can do this and that. But if it's an older used car, and I found out all that back when I was doing Uber and all that. It's not worth it because just deducting the mileage. But then there's some people that say you can deduct the mileage and some of the tax deductions. Can't do them all, but you can't depreciate your car if you do the mileage, unless that changed. So I don't know. I'm not. I don't want to get too deep in all that because I don't know enough about it. I know how to look it up, do a little research, get some facts, and put them together. But I don't want to be somebody that somebody comments on there and asks me tax questions. Because, in each video, that's what I say. This is just from my research. I am not an expert. So use it as you will. It's for educational purposes only. This is not for gig workers. I believe it's everybody who has a car loan. Really? Hmm. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and send it to me. I mean, I may not. I kind of want to know, but I don't know if I'll. Hmm. Yeah, I want to know. I've got to find stuff to deduct, because if not, I already am on the payment plan with the IRS, and eventually it will be paid off. But if I keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper, I'll be paying on it, and they'll be knocking on my grave, wanting to know where their money's at. As people crap on him and don't realize all the good things he is doing for the poor man. Yeah. Yeah, because they twist everything up, and they they fix it to make it sound bad. And then when and that's always happened. It ain't just him, but he's a lot more picked on than a lot of the other ones. But a lot of the other presidents and stuff, they take a clip of, you know, I don't know if when you was a kid, if y'all played with the cassette decks, the old Panasonic cassette player, you could record part of the song, just the words of it, and then say something, and then you could record the words of another song, and you could just splice it all together. But basically, that's what they do, is they'll cut it, and then they'll give an opinion on just that. They don't take everything that was said before and after, because there's so many things. I know he's a politician, and maybe he shouldn't say some of the things that he says, because it can be so easily, he leaves this stuff open for things to be taken out of context. He's not too smart on that. He's just a normal, when it comes to that, he's just a normal person that just starts rattling. It makes sense if you listen to the whole thing, but if you just listen to one little piece, you're like, that didn't sound right. And I did that all the time. Yeah. Hello, Lisa. Yeah, we used to get those. We had actually, I think it was my sister's. It was a little Panasonic cassette deck. You push, you had to push play and record at the same time to record. Then I think they came out with the little record button in the middle of the play button, and then you could just push kind of one. But used to, you had to push two buttons at once. But yeah, we would record part of a song and then say stuff. And what did you say you was gonna do at the car wash? Or where did you say you was gonna go? I don't know. It was a lot of fun. Nowadays, you can have AI do all of it for you. Yeah, good old days. Had the little microphones that you hold like that. Oh. These kids nowadays wouldn't have a clue what to do with one. Oh, I know the AI stuff on Facebook is crazy, and what's crazy is you read some of the comments, and the majority of the people get it. They realize it's AI. Like there's one on Facebook. It's like a big old ape, and I've seen several of them with the big ape, and he like body slamming a lion, I think it was, because the lion was going to eat the baby monkey or baby gorilla, and that big old gorilla like picks it up like a WWF or a WWE, whatever it is nowadays. And that's all AI. But people were saying, they was commenting, talking about they can't believe that would really happen. That was amazing. Like, really? Are you that dense? I was at the grocery store the other day, and me and a lady were talking about the landline phone, and I knew the little checker was going to ask what landline was, and she did. Yeah, not many people have them anymore. Surprisingly, they still sell them. My mom, well, not now, since she's dropped Time Warner or whatever it was. but she had a landline. She didn't have the phone, but you had to get the phone to get that package deal. But adding the phone made it cheaper. So she didn't have a phone, but I don't know. I don't really see a purpose in having one anymore. I just cut my landline off yesterday. It was a little sentimental. Oh, really? What's funny is mom her cell phone number is almost the last four is the same phone number we had as I was growing up. So the last four of her phone number never changed from landline to her cell phone. I don't remember the last time. I think when my house burnt, and that was, man, let's see, kids' mom, 01. So maybe 07, 08, somewhere in there. But that's the last time I had a landline. Just have no use for it. And I, other than using my phone for text occasionally and phone call occasionally, and using the camera part of it, I got no use for a cell phone. Of course, the GPS made it nice, but hello, Mr. Caleb. I was trying to remember. We were just talking about landlines, and I think the last, if you can probably correct me, but I think the last landline we had was when the house burnt. I don't think we ever had one after that. Not that I remember, but what I know, I'm old. Equipment to anybody. That's the last one you're calling? Yeah. Yeah, that's the last time I remember one. So what is the point of having one now? My neighbor has old phone lines that go out off now. What started the house fire? I can't remember what you told us. I don't know if I ever told y'all. Uh, how could I put this, Caleb? Pretty much an X, but un, un, unofficially. Officially, an electric hot water heater. You went cooking crack. I don't. No, 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 no. They ruled it as a faulty electric hot water heater, but fire investigator that they sent down from up north uh, had a different thought, but he left it like that for insurance purposes. Yeah, yeah, that was some stupid times. I wish I should have listened. That's one of my biggest regrets in my life is that time era right in there. Can't go back and change it. Major lessons learned. Unfortunately, it wasn't just me that had to learn the lessons either. Yeah, yeah, it happens. Live and learn. Luckily, we lived through it. I don't know. I don't. I have no clue what happened to her. Don't care either. is probably the one and only person that I would probably move over to the shoulder to run over if they were on the side of the road. Most everybody else, I would stop and see if they could help them, or at least make a phone call for them. That one, didn't you two play video games last week? No, yeah. Well, we was talking. I got off on that metal storm. I'd never done that. Well, that sounded like Sling Blade, didn't it? I never done that. Never done nothing like that before. I'm just not a big gamer. I used to play. What was that one we played? Ghost Recon. Played Ghost Recon, and then Caleb started playing some other game. My uncle, he played Battlefield 1944 or 1942 or something. Can't remember. But it was all on the computer. I didn't ever play on the Xbox or anything. Oh, man, I got the yawns. And I didn't get up early either. I meant to, because I got to get up early Saturday and Sunday for the flea market. You know, I have to start getting my schedule adjusted so I can get to bed early so I can be up by about 5:30. I'm going to have to set my alarm tomorrow morning so I can actually really get up. That way I'll be sleepy tomorrow night and go to bed early. Did you check the weather for your trip? So far it's good. I feel like that all day today. Man, I don't know. I don't. Movie. Saturday, a 2% chance, no, 3% chance of rain, 54 for a high, 29 for a low. Sunday, 0% chance, 59 for a high, 31 for a low. We got no chances of rains through Wednesday. Wednesday is 1%. So we should be good, other than it just being a bit chilly. Actually, the weather in Bowie is the same weather it's going to be here. Sometimes it'll fluctuate 5 or 6 degrees, but not much. But I did buy me some of those lined pants at Sam's Club, so I'm good to go. Put my long johns underneath them. I'd be staying warm. Dang, it rained like crazy here. It rained early this morning, about, I don't know what time it started. I know about 5:30, 6 o'clock, there was a big old clap of thunder that rattled the windows. I looked outside and make sure it didn't hit my storage shed or somebody's house right here close or the trees. And it rained for a little while and then it quit. I don't know how long it rained before that. I thought I remembered hearing thunder, but I was about half asleep. But that one clap of thunder, it was close. When it rained so bad, they act like we'll get some tomorrow. Huh. We got nothing coming. But you're way down south, so y'all may be getting it down off of the Gulf or something. Yeah, I do remember getting a weather pop up about the severe thunderstorm. No, that's after I woke up. Severe thunderstorm warning. But there was notifications before I went to bed about a chance of storms, and I'm like, there's no storms out there. And then I just went to bed. I didn't look at the radar, but I hadn't heard nothing about no rain. There's just one line, just move from west to east, or southwest to northeast. No, it's a front coming down. It'll pass through. Our temperatures, well, what was today? Today was 75. Tomorrow's 62, and Saturday 54. It's a little front. Well, I mean that's 20 degrees difference, I guess. But I don't know. We not got nothing in forecast as far as storms go. Not yet, but who knows? Anyway, got my tea. Went to Texas Roadhouse earlier. It was good. That's what lunch will be tomorrow. The rest of that, because I couldn't eat it all. They went from really good to not so good, back to really good. They must have tried a different cook. Maybe the old cook came back, or another good cook came in. Their steaks got real bland there for a while, but now they're good again. So, only thing is, it was only like that thick. It was not thick, like 3/8 of an inch thick, but it was good flavored, and I had no complaints. I'd rather have one a little thinner that's really tender and seasoned right and cooked right than a big fat steak that's dry or no flavor. You have any popular grocery stores in town, or just independent? We got United, which is Albertsons. I think United bought out Albertsons, so they're all United, Albertsons, Amigos. I think there's one more that's under their sister companies or whatever. That's pretty much it. We just got, I don't know how spread out there are, a Winco. I'd never heard of it, but and we have what is that? Aldi's. I think Aldi's. But we don't have like the little mom and pop grocery stores. We don't have any anymore. Well, I take that back. Over in the east side, there's one store hanging in there. It's called Davenport's, and it's not much. Actually, it probably was a house back in the early 1900s. It's a little bitty grocery store, uh, but they're still in business. But that would be the only one. Small. You're very close to Kroger, HEB, Aldi, and Walmart. Yeah. Well, we don't have Kroger's or HEB. I know we was in Plano over Christmas, and I've seen it before, but I didn't really pay much attention. But there's the HEB there that is huge. Oh, I would say not quite double the size of most of your supercenter Walmarts, but it was about one and a half of them. You have any Dairy Queen? Yeah. Dairy Queens, Dollar Generals, Family Dollar, Dollar Tree. A lot of the Dollar Generals, so they're building those left and right. But Dairy Queen, yeah, there's one Dairy Queen in town, and then there's one where I went to school in Holiday, and one in Archer City. If you ever watched, what was that movie? Not it was the newer version of The Last Picture Show, Texasville. That one's in Archer City. That's where they made that movie. HEB is everybody's favorite. They have the same prices as Walmart. I I think I don't know. I had a friend named Shonda that lived in Grand Prairie. Well, actually, that was in Arlington. I think that was HEB by where she lived, and we bought stuff there, but I don't. That's been quite a while back. I don't really remember price wise. It wasn't nowhere near as big as the one in Plano, though. I do know that. But yeah, I was trying to think of even because the grocery store that I worked at, I was produce manager in it for a few years. It went out of business. When Walmart came in, it put a lot of them out. That's why when people say Amazon is putting a hurt on Walmart, it's a big deal. So what? Good riddance. Adios. I'm not a big Walmart fan. I got nothing against them, but they they sure ruined a lot of little mom and pop's places. I kind of hated to see that happening, but it did drive the prices down a little bit. But I would still shop at United simply because of the people. I have not been into a United or an Amigos. There was an Amigos in Plainview, Texas, and I've not been into any of them where the employees were not just really friendly. It seems like that's part of their have to be need to be nice to the customers, and I'll pay a little bit more. I'm not gonna pay a lot more, but I'll pay a little bit more for just the friendly service. I go 2 miles north or 2 miles east and go to two different Walmart stores. It sure is convenient. It's 11 miles from here to the one Walmart, and probably 17 miles to the next Walmart, or about the same mileage if you stayed on the east side of Wichita Falls, stayed on the highway. We have three Walmarts, and I've lost count on Dollar Generals. They've built them over in the east side. They built one out by Holiday. They're building them out in the country. I'm not a big Dollar General, Family Dollar I like, but the Dollar General, I'm not a big fan. Their stores just don't seem very clean and stuff. And recently, we just had a Dollar Tree built here where I live. Yeah, it's all right. If you're gonna run down there and get wrapping paper or something like that, Dollar General is like their grocery store when nothing else is around. I haven't been to the one at by Holiday, which is a country town west of Wichita Falls. I haven't been in it. The dollar store that they built here about 2 years ago, it's one of those that's got groceries in it. The rest of the dollar stores that I've been in, it's just general merchandise. They don't have, I mean, they'll have like canned food, but this is one of those market or neighborhood dollar stores. They got like fresh meat, fresh produce, and not a lot of it, but they do have some. Uh, I think all the dollar stores have canned food and cokes and stuff like that, bread, your bare necessities. And that's still a lot cheaper in a convenience store. But I did notice, what was it? Like Dr. Peppers. Dr. Peppers are cheaper at the United grocery store, which United is kind of known to be a little bit higher, but they're cheaper at the United grocery store than what they are at the dollar store. I get mixed up. Dollar General, Dollar Family Dollar. I wish somebody would build a taco casa. We need a taco casa here where I live. Yes, but you go in for cheaper item and pick up something else up and we get you back out. Yep. That's what, that's like when I would be delivering, when I was doing Walmart, people would say, I didn't even know they delivered. And I'd tell them, I said, in all honesty, you'll save money. Even if you're paying the membership, I guarantee you that's going to pay itself off within about 3 months or less. Because you cannot go into Walmart to get a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk and walk out with a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk. I guarantee you, most people, 95% of the people, are going to buy other stuff, bags of chips and, a candy bar or something else. So doing the Walmart delivery is so much cheaper on people. That's when they first started doing it, I was like, I know it'd be cheaper, but Walmart's losing that impulse sale because retail relies on impulse buys. That's exactly why they put the candy and stuff up at the registers. But if they don't even come into the store, you're losing those. But you also slightly cutting down on your theft because you got less people coming in. And I still say that within 10 to 20 years, the average customer is not going to be able to go into Walmart. It's going to be all curbside pickup and delivery because that would, other than the employees, that would cut out all your theft. And most people are becoming more online shoppers than they are to get out and go to the store. I want to see a store of all vending machines. That would be basically what I think Walmart's going to wind up doing. We don't have taco casas down here. Oh man, they're good. They are good. Tired of employees. Yeah. Just have a guy come restock each day or so. Yeah. I mean, I look at your coolers where the milk is, and you got the people back there in the cooler stocking the milk and eggs, and you could set up vending machines like that. Go up there, put $3 in, you get a half a gallon of milk. Put $2 in, you get a full gallon of milk. That never made sense to me, but that's a fact. Yeah, you may live to see that. I don't know if I will, but you probably will. And I really do think in time, and probably sooner than what we realize, Walmart will lock their doors to customers. I mean, especially in California. My understanding is you can walk out as long as it's like under $500, you can walk out with it and they won't even stop you. If it's an item over X amount, like $500, then they do. That's what I heard. I don't know that to be a fact. I've never been to California, hadn't have no plans on going to California. Although it might be kind of cool to visit. I don't know. But anyway, they're tracking you though. It's waiting for the grand larceny, George. And it's super cool to visit, and I love it there. Really, I've never been there. Me and your papa was, when he was driving a truck, we was heading to California, and the truck broke down in Albuquerque, and he called Grandma to come pick us up, and he called his dispatcher and said the truck will be there because they said we'd have to wait 3 or 4 days before they could get somebody out to look at the truck to get it going. He said, I ain't waiting. So that was my one and only chance I've ever had to go to California. San Diego was amazing, really. I've never been there. You've been to so many places that I haven't. I'm glad. I really am. You're getting to see. I saw a lot of places, but it was all from the front seat of a truck. Well, there was only one seat, but from a truck. when your papa was a truck driver, seen Montana and Wyoming and pretty much north of Texas, between Mexico and say Alabama, and straight up north. I've never been to the East Coast, never been to the West Coast. It was a thick brown furry rug from a distance. If someone would have told me about the smog in San Francisco, I wouldn't have believed him. I have no clue. I guess from a lot of the factories and stuff there. I remember our old neighbor Eddie when they moved by us. They came from Denver, and Eddie was talking about the smog being so bad in Denver. I guess the mountain air kept it down on Denver, but apparently they've rectified that over the last 30 years. Traffic probably too. It was horrendous. I hate traffic. That trip we made down to Plano for Christmas to Paula's, that them highways are just I just don't like traffic. Well, back then pot wouldn't have been legal. That's been 30. Oh man, no, longer than that. 30. Well, no. Yeah, about 30 years ago. Yeah, that'd be about right. So I don't think it was legal anywhere then. Maybe Jamaica. But you know, when we were in Colorado last year, I mean, they had the shops and stuff with all the edibles and all that, but you didn't really. I smell more when I was doing delivery in Wichita Falls. I smelled more pot there than I ever smelled in Colorado, and it was legal there. Here, you can walk through an apartment complex and nearly get high just from secondhand weed. Not quite that bad, but it was strong. And it was nasty because they had the old skunk weed, and that stinks. The traffic was so bad that when we get in a little traffic there, here, Charlie will say, "Are we back in California?" Oh, man. I don't know. I can drive in the traffic. I just don't like it. I want to hurry up and get out of there. I have no desires ever to live where there's a lot of traffic. If you lived in Plano or Arlington or Grand Prairie or whatever, if you worked in that area or didn't have to get out on the highways other than getting out of town, it wouldn't be bad. But them people that's driving in that stuff every day, ain't no way. I don't. I would not want to do it at all. I wouldn't say I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't want to. I cannot stress how horrible it was. Hello, Steve. We were Happy New Year. We were actually just talking about Denver. My son was talking about the smog in San Francisco, and I told him, I said, Eddie, which was my old neighbor from many years ago, they were stationed in Denver before they moved to Shepherd Air Force Base here. But I remember him talking about the smog, but they may have cleaned all that up, because that's been 30 plus years ago. I don't know if it's still like that or not. Oh, yeah, Houston traffic is awful. Dallas is bad. Well, I don't know. Dallas may be as bad as what Houston is now. It's bad so it's still bad. I thought maybe they cleaned it up some. But Eddie, if I remember right, he said it was because of and I don't know how San Francisco is, but because of the air coming off the top of the mountains, it keeps it suppressed and it can't escape. Something like that. I don't know. We don't have much around here. Matter of fact, we've only got like maybe three factories left. We never had a lot of factories, but the ones most of them that we had was moved on. We still have a PPG. Well, it's uh, survey. Don't forget, the Pittsburgh plate glass. At 5,000 foot, air is thinner, so it does not move out of population well at all. Smog and traffic, I don't want to deal with. Is that what it stands for? Yeah, PPG is Pittsburgh plate glass. And it's called survey now, or let's see if Google will tell me. We'll just type in PPG Wichita Falls. Savdies, I don't know what that's all about. Let's try this. Factories in Wichita Falls. Sealed air helmet. Vitro. Vitro is what it's called now. VITRO. PP terms. I've got a cousin by marriage, Larry. He worked for what was it? P&G. What was it? Man, my mind. But it was the Pacific Electric. It was P something. Anyway, I guess it's like Texas Electric, only out on the West Coast, out in California. Pack Bell, PG&E, PG. PG&E, that might have been it. Pacific Gas and Electric. PG&E, that sounds right. I think that's who he works for. But we're talking about peas, We used to have Certainteed here. They did fiberglass, but they went out of business years ago. Yeah, PG&E. Yep. Of course, Larry retired many years ago. PG-13. Growing up, you had G, PG, and R, and of course there X and triple X, but there was no PG 13, PG 17. I don't know, some of that stuff that I see on PG 13, it ought to be rated R, period. But times have changed. Not so sure they're all for the good, but can't stop it. You just have to adapt to it and move on. Adapt and overcome. Anyway, I hate it when my mind just goes blank and I'm like, what do you say now? Hmm. Dr. Pepper's or Hyatt United or the dollar store. That's what we was talking about earlier, grocery stores. Oh, we was talking about, Pork Chop said something about the smog in Denver being the weed. And I said, in all honesty, when we was in Colorado, I never really smelt it. But doing delivery in Wichita Falls, a bunch of the apartment complexes, it smelled, I mean, big time. I mean, you could just open your car door, ooh, it would be smelling. And then you'd walk in the courtyard area, and it was like everybody was hitting the pipe, you know. But when we was in Colorado, I never really smelt it. And, you know, we was walking by the little smoke shop things, dispensaries, I guess they call them. Oh, you're talking about San Francisco. Oh. I thought we was talking about Denver or Colorado. The flashlight was, I need to order me a new one. Hmm. See, I'm old. I miss that. I am getting better starting in 2026 about telling these agencies I don't work for free no more. I told one last night. Actually, it's the one I did the security camera for. They said, "Oh, we love the video. We have another camera we want you to do for us." And I had accepted that one in December. So now it is January, and I said, I'm concentrating on paid collaborations only. I said, if it's something that I really want or something, I might consider it. But for the most part, I ain't working for free no more. Though I'm past that. I'm graduated. I graduated the third grade now. That was a spin from Beverly Hillbillies. It seems like you are getting good quality products and not all the stupid junk Luna wanted to send us. Yeah, ever since I told them that I was no longer taking uh, low quality stuff and I was going to start requiring being paid, I haven't been hearing from them. So I guess I didn't want to cut the rope, but I just wanted to make it obvious, you know, unless it's something that I really am interested in, or I know somebody else that wants it, I'm not doing it. As there was, what was it? Oh, it was a $400 cat robot uh, potty, uh, litter box. You know, it's the robot one. Um, but I turned them down because they didn't have any sales showing on the Amazon page. And it doesn't matter how much a product costs. If you're not going to get paid to do the video and you're not going to make no commissions from that through Amazon for that video, and you're certainly not going to sell a $400 litter box to the general population, you know, you might get $50 for it, $100 maybe if you're lucky. People ain't gonna pay that for it. If they are, they're gonna be buying it themselves off Amazon or whatever. And you're looking at, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 hours of work that you put into it. And even if you sold one, you might make $20 in commissions, you know, and You got to stop and think about how much time you got involved in that. How many is it going to sell? You know, I was looking at something the other day. It's been 2 years and I have made $6 on commissions on it in 2 years. It's just not worth it, right? I don't think the auto kitty box will be a hot seller in Boot now. No, and people down there, most of their cats are barnyard cats because it's country folks. Yeah. You know, I've got this mobility scooter and it's $900 online. And I took a picture of the shelf behind it with it in front of it because I can't post just it because they'll flag me for medical devices. But I had several people ask about it, and I said I'll take $600 for it. You know, that's $400 off because it was like $989 or $979, and I can't get rid of it. Now, several months ago, I took one to Bowie and sold it. And I can drop the price on this. And somebody actually made the comment on Iowa Park Trading Post, the little town just west of here, a little bit northwest, well, west northwest. Anyway, right outside Wichita Falls, and they said, "I have done Amazon reviews and you get the products for free. Why are you selling them?" I'm like, really? I came back, I wrote back, I said, I had some bills to pay. I said, and something else, some Amazon video influencers actually buy the products that they review. They're not all free. And they never came back on that. I'm like, really? I don't care if I get it for free or not. That's, if you want, you're welcome to go buy it. I'll sell it for almost half the price, whatever. But sometimes it's hard for me not to come back with a bit of an attitude. I try to be nice, and I thought I handled that nicely, but it certainly was not the comment that I wanted to come back with. But it was nice. Hello, Mr. Tim. You let everyone know it is a product and you just did the yes. Yeah, you know, when you post something on Marketplace, you know, you put your pictures, the title. Anyway, when you get to the description, and sometimes I just try to be kind of funny. I put new-ish, like capital new and then ISH, and said, you know, unboxed, did review and put back in the box. Some stuff, you know, you assembled it. And so I do it is new, but it has been taken out of the box. I have had a few things that was not taken out of the box because they wound up sending 2 of them. But yeah, I mean, that doesn't matter if you or me or anybody else gets stuff for free. That's your business. I mean, it's the way I make a living. How about the products that I reviewed? I have bought a few. That's why I said, you know, there's some video influencers that do buy the products. You can't, because I wanted to tell her, don't be jealous because you couldn't make it as an influencer. You know, what I wanted to say is a little more to it, but that was the gist. But yeah, I have bought some stuff. You know, like my microphones. I bought these. I paid dearly for them. My lens for my camera I bought. Of course, I haven't done a video on that yet, but there's been a few things, and it's probably going to start getting more into that because there's some things. My welding hood, the welding hood, I bought that. But there's some things that I'm wanting to buy that I will be reviewing, and it's stuff that I bought. And if I found something really good that had high sales, good commissions, I might consider buying it. But as long as I'm still getting like this filing cabinet I just did, man, they have actually improved because this is the same brand, the one that I have in the storage room, and this one is twice as solid as that one, the same brand, and about the same price. It's just this one they started using when you bend the tabs over putting the drawers together. Now you put screws in those tabs. It's built a lot better, and so that company is working on improving stuff. They're not keeping their a little bit flimsier. It's a good filing cabinet that I got, but definitely a big difference. This is almost as strong as old school 2-drawer filing cabinets, that were solid. You could drop them off top of a house and it wouldn't hurt them. That one like I got in there, it would probably bend it up. This one, might handle the fall. That's a good one. Of course, I can't really say all that in a review, but if somebody asks, I'll tell them. I'm just reviewing my own products now. Yeah, I don't do the China dolls anymore that Grandpa deals with. I haven't dealt with them. Not in the. Now they are supposed to be sending me a car, a Bluetooth speaker car. I haven't gotten it yet, so we'll see. But that's been the only thing I accepted from them in the last month. I had stuff that I finished up that I had of theirs, but I haven't gotten anything else, and I haven't accepted anything else, and I haven't heard from them at all in the last week. They still owe me $20, and that's another reason why I'm quitting messing with them. They want you to get the product done in a hurry, but they don't pay you in a hurry, if they even pay you. I'm like I said, I'm not saying I'm too good for it, but I've progressed to the next chapter. I've graduated from beginner to what do you call it? The middle. I'm not high end, but the middle. I'm getting there. I wouldn't put ish and just say new. Sometimes I do just put new, and then sometimes I put newish, And I have come to the conclusion, I'll say 75 to 80% of the people scrolling through the marketplaces on Facebook do not read nothing. They look at the picture and the price. And that's it. Because they'll ask you something about something you have listed, and it's written right there. How long have you used this for? It's brand new. I used it to do the review one time. That people don't read. If I was going to be buying something, I would read the description. I get aggravated at people that post vehicles on Marketplace, and they'll take 6 or 7 pictures all around the vehicle, not one picture inside that vehicle. And me personally, I'm as concerned about the looks on the inside as I am the outside. Maybe a little more so because I've gotten a little bit pickier on vehicles. I wouldn't put new, it's just new. And when they show interest, you can say it was unboxed for review only. Yeah. Well, a lot of them, I'll send them the the affiliate link for them to go look at the product. That way, if they do shop on Amazon, I'll still get a commission if it's a qualifying purchase. But if just send them the affiliate link to that product. That way, I say, if you want to read more about it, here's the link. And it's an affiliate link, but it's still a link to that product. Hey there, Jason. I tried to find your email. You posted it last night in the live stream, and I went back to get it because I didn't highlight and copy it at that moment. But I thought I can go back and watch the replay and get your email address. For some reason, I guess Facebook does, I looked earlier, you have to click a little box for the chat replay during the replays. I think that makes sense. But replay is disabled on that one. So I don't have your email address to get your address. So if you will send me you just did. I looked on your channel and it's not listed on there. I thought I did. Can I copy this? Crap, what am I doing? Look down here. I don't know if that's going to copy or not. Notepad, where's Notepad? There's Notepad. I'm using the mini PC, so everything is different. Paste. Twist gigs. Got it. Okay. Now, this time I will email you here in a little bit. Actually, I should already been offline. What? Okay. Anyway, okay, got you. I knew you was probably going to be busy for the next few days, so I knew you wouldn't be in too big of a hurry. But I thought you might get on tonight. So. I mean, I do look at pictures. I mean, looking at pictures is fine, but some of the people, that's all they do is just look at the pictures. They don't read. I do read the reviews, though. Yeah. Oh, and that drives me nuts with no pics of interior trunk or under the hood. Yeah, exactly. And they're wanting you. And some of these cars, if it's local, that's not so bad. But if it's like in St. Louis or somewhere, I'm not driving that far just to look at it unless you give me some major details. And we got something pretty well worked out, but not signed yet. I wouldn't mind driving that far. I wouldn't mind Kansas. I don't know about Colorado because I think Colorado uses salt. I don't want to go much further than Missouri, Kansas. I don't want to go much further north. Yes. It's on there, yeah. Yeah, a busy few days. Yeah. I knew Saturday what you got going on. So that's why I was like, I thought if you don't show up tonight, then I'll get your address in the next few days. But I got it now, or that address. And then I'll get your shipping address. Anyway, yeah. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, little Joey is playing a slide trombone. I did turn the latency on low, so hopefully it's not having too much of a delay. But nobody would know if it was a delay except for me if I was watching it. But if I'm not watching it, I don't know if there's a delay. I guess Ray's busy tonight. Haven't seen him tonight. They may be out doing proxy picks. I'm so glad I stayed in Oklahoma City last night. Did those storms come through? Well, that would have been, I don't know if they moved that far north. They went northeast. We had a pretty strong line, not wide, just pretty strong line blow through. Oh, they did. Yeah, we had a pretty strong line move through. I don't know, between about 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock this morning, somewhere in there. I know that one thunder woke me up, and I looked at my radar and said, "Whoa!" Wasn't wide, but it was pretty strong. And our winds today have been blowing really strong, pretty much directly out of the west. One of the towns I go through, damaged the hotel just right off the interstate. Wow, they may have got stronger then. I mean, they come through here pretty strong, but may have intensified. See, Grandpa can use big fancy words like intensified. I watch some of these podcasts and stuff of some of these YouTubers and some of the words that they use. I'm like, I need a dictionary. I don't even know what that means. I really do, but it's like, dang, they use some fancy words. I don't know if they do that to make themselves look smarter or if it's, I mean, it fits. They're not just throwing words out there that don't really fit. It's funny to listen to some people that use big fancy words and what they're saying really doesn't align with the words that they're using. It's all out of context. And that just tells you they don't really know what that word means. But some of them, they throw them big words out there, and I'm too simple and plain. I can barely come out with little simple words, much less complicated words. Anyway, I got to slide this filing cabinet under my desk here and act like that is its stationary place. And throw some folders in there and say, this is how this looks. I did move my camera around so it won't be just one shot of the fast forward or the hyperlapse of putting it together. Cut it around a little bit here and there. I did have to switch to my 16 mil lens though. Especially, I still have it on for in here. Matter of fact, camera's sitting back right there waiting on me to finish this video up. And then the little desk lamp, and then a big metal cabinet. And sometime this weekend, maybe the other parts of I want to get those lift chairs done. I might can sell those, and that's pretty good money there. Cha-ching. Maybe something like these mobility scooters. I got one I still have to do a little bit of a video on, and another one, it's ready. It can go out the door if I can find somebody to buy it. Nevertheless, eventually it will get going. I may wind up having to charge it. Make sure that battery don't go dead. But anyway, folks, it is 10:23. The witching hour is fast approaching. Did y'all ever watch The Fog? The original Fog with the lady DJ? That was a pretty cool show. She had that radio voice. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. So I am going to go ahead and get off here and finish this filing cabinet up. And yes, I believe that's where Jamie Lee Curtis got hurt. Was that Jamie Lee Curtis in that? She was the DJ? Huh. I probably knew that. I just forgot. You see, it is 11:30 p.m. in, what was it? Montego Bay, not Montego Bay, something Bay. Anyway, now I'm probably going to look that movie up, see if I can watch it tonight. In the fog, not sure about a DJ. I haven't watched it since the 80s. Yeah, she was the radio DJ. All right, Caleb. Good night. I love you too. And the rest of y'all, I like y'all. Love y'all being here. Appreciate it. How's that? Anyway, yeah, I'm going to get out of here and slide this filing cabinet under here and get that video done, get it scheduled. See, I'm doing every other day on random reviews. I got one scheduled for Saturday, so it should be out Monday. I'm trying to stay scheduled out, but I'm switching to every other day instead of every day. We'll see how that works out. Anyway, y'all, I will catch y'all on the flip side, and y'all have a wonderful rest of your night. And I don't know. Y'all keep smiling, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye, y'all.